trainer that is going to actually do a live detection. So I'd like everyone to meet Janice and her dog Wyatt, who can detect cancer. And we have Miss Pina here, who's going to do a detection here.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to just split your knees a little bit, scooch back in the chair, and Wyatt is actually going to check you. And he's going to just move your hands on there, and he'll go up and check you.
Hey,
and he's going to check your breath. And he's not overly worried about you at all. So that's a good thing.
He's my new best friend.
So that's it. So
that
the
is
dog
literally
just
right.
Way better than a biopsy.
I just had to do a mammogram. That's fine.
Oh gosh, those things are horrible.
Well, if there's anything, any kind of either an active disease, if there's any inflammation, like if someone, let's say, has something but it's not active, there won't be a smell. Any kind of cancers are going to have, the reaction is going to be very different. Now, if you were worried, I can have him run on it again, but I've learned to trust him. I've actually had about 4 years ago, when he was only 2 years old, a little spot that turned out to be an adenocarcinoma. And I went to my doctor, and my doctor said, no, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. And it turned out to be an adenocarcinoma requiring a double mastectomy because he cut right down the middle of it. And I try to teach people to advocate, because if you feel there's something wrong, check it out.
Yeah.
But with the dogs, if there is anything there that's active or anything at all that smells abnormal to them, they'll hit on it. So if there's something like, even with your high cortisol, he was a little interested in kind of down low, but if there was something active in your body, it would be exhaled in your breath.
How would he signal it?
He would be poking you.
Poking. Okay.
It would be very
different dogs
obvious.
do different things, right?
Yeah. Well, if you think about the amount of smell that comes out of an area, if there's an active, like a localized cancer or localized thyroid issue, the dog is going to literally go to that spot and focus on that spot. If there's something systemic, the dog is going to be breathing and inhaling the exhale.
Sorry, we can't see you on the screen, so I'm just going to pull you, but this is fascinating.
Okay.
So let me
we're going to move an
just,
adversarian.
here, actually, let's move the other way. Move that way. And then grab that stool.
Just out of curiosity, what were you worried you have?
They did a colposcopy for cervical cancer. And they said, check it again. Sometimes it goes into remission. Check it again in a year.
It could be in remission, or there just
so
could be
how
nothing.
often would I check? Once a year?
I check it. The firefighters, I check every 3 months, because this way you catch it early.
So
Okay.
are we
You
able
want
to
me in the
see
middle?
all three?
Well, here's the thing. We're also dealing with that headshot right there. Sit down. Sit down.
Do you want me sitting here yet? Because I can have Wyatt up here if you want. Come here, Wyatt.
Hey, buddy.
My new best friend.
Y'all gotta get tight, super tight.
Okay.
I can't make this smaller. You can join in on my
Lap?
We're going to be friends.
How's that?
Your head is being cut off.
The whole thing.
Really? I see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And honestly, it would be better if you just stand. Just stand and,
Okay.
just be
The three of us standing?
Just be, no.
The three, oh, hold on.
Give it to me. Bring it this way. That chair. Well, no, not the three of you.
Here, just me. No, but I can't stand because the head's cut off.
I can stand, and the two of you can sit.
We have a
How
cap, so I don't know if that.
She works by standing.
You work? Okay.
She works by standing.
Because I'm little.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So sit back there. You sit back
Okay.
there, Bonnie.
Okay. We got it?
You want me to stand between
Let
them?
her be in the middle.
Okay.
Okay.
In the middle.
But then how, so then when she's
Should Pina be? Well, Pina's little too,
We
right?
can't even. We can't see the dogs, but
I can have him up.
She goes behind the two chairs and the dogs stay
Possibly.
to the front.
we're probably not even gonna be able to see Wyatt at all.
I can get him to jump up.
Okay.
Up here?
so how
Just tell me where
He
to go.
can he just lay there while you talk to us? And he's not in the shot? Or do you want him in the
it's
shot?
not about that. It's about there's no way for me to interview her and see on the camera. We can't have someone stand because even now her head's cut off.
Yeah.
There's a cap, so you don't see it. It's what's on the screen isn't.
It's right here. This line.
Yeah, it's so.
Janet,
Okay, we're gonna
walk
just have to do
behind.
one at a time. I
Yeah.
think we're just.
What
yeah.
if I scooch down in the middle here?
It's just not a It wouldn't be a logical shot. Like we wouldn't.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
wouldn't.
so
Yeah.
let's just do a separate interview.
Yeah. We'll just do separate. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah. So you'll just come around. I'll have Janice here.
Where do you want me?
Just off camera. So I'll interview Janice, and then
Yeah.
we'll bring you back on
Yeah.
at the end,
Okay.
and then we'll edit that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wyatt, come.
Sorry. Bye.
It's okay.
You're very
Why,
brave.
way up?
Okay.
We're still recording. Let's go.
Okay.
I didn't stop.
All right. So this is fascinating. So basically, I mean, it took him two seconds to check Pina. Tell me a little bit about the process and what happens.
The rest of the world seems to use one smell, and there is some research which is wonderful about dogs being trained to find a specific type of cancer. The problem is there are 200 plus types of diseases that my dogs can find. I do something very different. It's called exception detection. In other words, I train the dogs that whatever a normal smell of a human is, don't react to that. If you smell something abnormal, something out of the ordinary, whether it's a cancer, it's Parkinson's disease, it's a tumor, it's an infection, it's psoriatic arthritis, whatever that is not a normal smell, the dog will indicate. Then I also train people to do what I do and train dogs to do what Wyatt and Savannah and my dogs do. But funny, the training for the dog is about 1 year and training the human is about 2 years.
Wow.
So you really have to know about the inner workings of the body, the anatomy and physiology. So in other words, while let's say, cervical cancer, you can check what's exhaled or, what's in the blood or in the urine. The exception detection, the dog actually needs to be able to smell the human body. So it's kind of a different way of looking at it. That's why he can find anything from arthritis to psoriasis. We found burns, recent burns, gout, any disease. And it's definitely a different way of looking at things.
So how does he determine, how does he signal you if, if someone has a cancer or if it is arthritis, how do you communicate with him so that you can communicate then to the patient?
Great question. What happens is now it's my business. So it's very obvious that was not a hit. So Dr. Wyatt has said, okay, I don't smell anything at this time that would be alarming. And I know him and I know he's pretty much 100%. However, let's say like arthritis, if somebody has rheumatoid, he's going to hit in the joints where there's inflammation. So I know as his handler trainer that if he's hitting in the joints, maybe the elbows and the fingertips and the knuckles, that can be arthritis. If he hits in the brain, it could be a seizure. If he hits the breath and the wrists, that's usually going to be either hypoglycemia or more likely diabetes. If he had found something, he would literally be inhaling her exhaled breath pretty profoundly 4, 5, 6 times, and then he would just literally scan down her body until he found where that smell was coming from, and he would poke. So if it's a systemic thing, he'll literally follow the bloodstream. They'll be all around. So that would be like an arthritis, lupus is a big one, any of the autoimmune, MS. But if it were a tumor, he would literally poke and push on that spot to alert me that there was something there.
Wow. So I guess my question would be, why doesn't every single doctor's office in the world have a Wyatt in it? It just seems like a logical, this is absolutely fascinating, and I hadn't heard about it, until the last couple of years, and I'm pretty steeped into the dog world. So why doesn't every doctor's office in America or the
job
world have
security for the doctors, I think. Believe it or not, there are actually quite a few doctors now who are calling us in, and we're worked into a very wonderful group called International Firefighter Cancer Foundation, where we scan Savannah, who's Wyatt's niece, and I were just in Indianapolis at a big convention for firefighters. We'll be at another one next week, and then we're going to Germany in June. Now, one dog can't scan 25,000 people, but they can scan quite a few people. Again, exception detection. You smell normal, I have no interest. You don't smell right, come over here, and then they'll actually scan. So it's pretty amazing.
So I wonder, New York, it's a busy city. How does Wyatt just kind of exist in day-to-day life when you're walking, through thousands of people is there a command that you have that puts him in detection mode, or he will just randomly detect?
This is the inconvenient part when you're in an airport and you're in an airport in a foreign country. or where the person he's detecting some issue with doesn't speak English. And sometimes unfortunately, I can't or I don't choose to tell people because some people don't want to know, and they'll think it's kind of voodoo and hokey, and they'll say, oh, I don't want to know. And I know there's a problem, but no, he does not turn off. These dogs literally don't turn off. They are on 24 hours a day. I have seen Wyatt and Savannah and my other dogs literally passed out from having done several hundred screenings in a day. And you think they're just sleeping, and all of a sudden the dog just wakes up and goes, and suddenly you've got, the dog is alerting on somebody from a dead sleep. And we've had that happen a number of times.
That's absolutely fascinating. Okay, perfect. So we'll bring Pina on, and now we'll talk about the movie. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Oh,
welcome.
you're mic'd. Careful.
I'm trying to keep about that
Yep.
same.
You're on a short leash.
Yeah. No, I'm
Both of
good.
you are on a
I know to
leash.
go back here. I've done this before.
So just remember that the mics are on.
Are we done with
Should
yeah.
I take it off?
Yeah.
Take it off.
And then we'll have Pina close it of how people can find you.
mentioned about how if somebody wants to learn how to do this,
that I Yo.
can train them.
I'll ask her.
You can train them?
Oh yeah, I can train people to do this.
Okay. You can train people or dog trainer?
People and dogs.
Oh, guys,
Okay.
we need all phones off.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah, somebody's texting.
It's 5:58.
5:58.
Okay.
2 minutes. Perfect.
All right, we ready? We're still rolling?
Yeah, we're still rolling.
Okay. Okay. So this is absolutely fascinating, and I know that Janice can train people if they're watching and they're interested in
Yep.
becoming, certified and,
Yep.
and working with
She's
dogs.
amazing.
How would people find more information?
Well, we're doing a documentary about this because why don't people know about this? I had the same questions. My best friend died of cancer, and I don't want people to die of cancer just because they didn't know. So sniffingoutcancer.com is our documentary, and we're doing the Hug a Pup Challenge, which is similar to the Ice Bucket Challenge, but instead of the cold water ice, you hug a pup and we bring awareness to how much they're saving lives. So the fact that they can detect cancer earlier and with greater accuracy than any medical equipment. I want people to know. This is Adriana LaCorte's movie. I'm just the executive producer on it. But sniffingoutcancer.com, all the studies are there. You can watch other dogs do it. You can find out when the movie's coming out. We're working with the firefighters as well. We just want to save lives because this is literally what saves lives.
Remarkable. I mean, this is, each week we have incredible guests that are doing mind-blowing things, but I have to
Mind-blowing.
say, hands down, this is one of the most remarkable stories that I've ever heard. So
Because even the oncologists, we've done 2 years of interviews. We have 37 interviews so far. And even the oncologists say, cancer can be, if caught early, you can literally just save people. If they can catch it at stage 0 and stage 1.
wow.
That's really where the answer is, early
So
detection.
impressive. So sniffingoutcancer.com.
And they try to alert us. These dogs, all the interviews that were done, they keep telling us that there's something. So not to scare people, but listen to your dogs, take care of yourself,
Sure.
take care of your dogs, and sniffingoutcancer.com.
Well, thank you so much for this incredible
Thank
work
you.
and bringing
It's
this
my
to
passion,
light.
My passion project.
It was absolutely a pleasure to meet Janice and to meet
She's
Wyatt
amazing.
and to watch this in action.
dogs.
It's truly unbelievable.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching. This has been another episode of the Askbonbon Show, real conversations about what matters most, where we introduce you to the people and the tools and the dogs to go out and create you. We will see you next time.